In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best current investments you can make in the Pokemon markets. These are items I think are currently undervalued and I think have dramatic price growth in the future. First and foremost, we're going to go into the Prismatic Evolutions Pokemon Center ETB. Currently, the Prismatic PC ETB is only sitting at about $220. Locally, you can find this for $200, sometimes even under $200. So anywhere around that $200 mark is a great time to get into this PC ETB because Prismatic, of course, is one of the best sets in Scarlet and Violet, arguably the best set of Scarlet and Violets. And we know for a fact that this set will appreciate very well into the future. Comparison to Prismatic is going to be something like 151. If you look at the 151 PC ETB, right, recently it's gone absolutely ballistic, right? It's $615. You see some sales over $700 now for this PC ETB. We know that Prismatic is a comparable set to 151, so in the future we can expect similar price growth, right? Of course, this Prismatic PC ETB was printed a little bit more than the 151. I believe Prismatic has had 2 or 3 restocks now. For the 151 PC ETB, I think we only had 1 restock. So there is more supply out there for Prismatic, but 3, 4, 5 years down the line, that's not going to matter at all, right? One of the main arguments against investing in Prismatic Evolutions right now is the fact that, hey, everyone's hoarding it. Everyone has Prismatic. It's not going to go up in the future because everyone already has it. Well, you need to know that most Pokemon investors in this space, they're only in it for the short-term gains, right? They're only in it for 1 to 2 years, right? Most people are out of the hobby within 2 years of getting in. Whenever you hold sealed product, you should minimum expect to hold for at least 3 years before you see significant price growth. And that's just a fact, right? Right now, we're seeing a heightened market, right? A lot of elevated prices that very, very quickly rise up for a lot of these products. But in the normal markets, you see slow and steady growth staircasing up until we eventually hit another boom. And then that's when prices shoot up dramatically 2, 3, 4, 5x in a couple of months. So you should always hold for 3, 4 years minimum to get that elevated gain when we hit that next boom. So that's why I think Prismatic is still a great play, even at $200, right? I know MSRP is $60, but these, right, are Pokemon Center exclusive. They're more exclusive than the regular ETB, and they will perform exceptionally well in the future. This will be one of the most expensive singular products that you can possibly own, right? I still think the Destin Rivals booster box will be a more expensive singular item than this PC ETB, but I believe that this will be a lot more expensive than even a lot of the booster boxes out there, right? 10 years down the line, I can still see the Pokemon Center ETB holding up very well. Even though it only has 11 packs, I think the value of the promo and the value of the box itself, the scarcity of the box, will make it a desirable play. So that's my number 1 pick. And speaking of the regular ETBs, that's my number 2 pick, right? Prismatic Evolutions regular ETB. They're only sitting at $110 right now. Of course, we had that dip from the Costco drop, right? It went all the way down to about 90, 95 bucks. And you can still find these locally, by the way, for around that 85 to 90 range if you look around. If you negotiate a little bit, if you buy it in a bulk deal, maybe 10 ETBs for 85 each, you can definitely find those deals. And if you can find it under 90, I would definitely pick up Prismatic ETBs right now on the secondary markets. These ETBs are only going to get more rare. Even though there's a lot of supply right now, we don't know what Pokemon's plans are for these elite trainer boxes specifically, right? We know Pokemon's going to print Prismatic a lot in these next 2 years, but a lot of that print run might be in the form of booster bundles, collection boxes, poster collections, right? Things like that, rather than ETBs, because ETBs have a lot of ancillary items within them, right? They have those coins, they have dice, they have a lot of items that are made in China, and with the tariffs going on, we don't know what the future holds, right? So getting in right now at $80, $85, $90, which is only a $20 to $30 increase from MSRP, because these MSRP for I think around $59.99, so $60. So if you're getting it for $80, $85, you're paying an extra $20, $25 to get an item that in the future is going to be extremely expensive, right? Let's take a look at the 151 Elite Trainer box, right? This is the normal 151 ETB, and it's already at $250, right? We can expect very similar growth with Prismatic as soon as news comes out that Prismatic ETBs are out of print, which It could be in 2 years, or it could be in 6 months, right? Maybe in 6 months' time, Pokemon stops restocking ETBs and everyone FOMOs into ETBs, which is exactly what happened to 151, right? Most other 151 products are in that $10 per pack price range. But this ETB has a much larger premium on it, right? Because it's only, 9 packs and it's $250. So that's way more than $11 price per pack. So something similar can happen with this Prismatic ETB, where it's kind of short printed and we don't know exactly what the print run is going to be in the future, and a lot of FOMO buyers get in and this shoots up to $200. That could very well happen. It's not worth taking the risk to assume that this will get printed to the ground for the next 2 years and stay at MSRP, right? A lot of people are worried about buying into Prismatic right now because they think that's going to get printed. And I agree, right? I don't think you should absolutely load the boat on other items like booster bundles. I think you'll have plenty of time to pick up booster bundles. But with the ETB especially, that's something that we're not sure on. So if you're not picking up these ETBs right now, you're kind of making the bet, making the assumption that Pokemon's going to continue printing these ETBs, while, in the past we've seen 151, that's really not the case. So I'm actually going to be picking up a lot of these regular ETBs in these next couple of weeks for, under $100, under $90. I'm trying to get at least 2 cases of them, so about 10 to 20 ETBs. And I think that's going to be a really good position to hold on. And with the PC ETBs, my current position is 6, right? I picked up 6 from the secondary market for around 200 a piece. And, I kind of bought all of them, all of the ones in my area. So if I see more, then I'll probably continue buying these as well. But yeah, both of these are really good plays. Now, going to our third play, this is one that's kind of under the radar recently, and it's the Evolving Skies Elite Trainer Box, right? This is just the regular one. It doesn't really matter which variation, right? The Flareon, Jolteon, Umbreon, Leafeon one, or the other one with Espeon and Sylveon. It doesn't matter which one you get, but I believe this is super undervalued, right? It's only sitting at $320. You can find these for probably around $300 locally. And if you do the math, 320 divided by 8, it equals out to about $40 a pack. Now that is a really good price per pack for Evolving Skies in a premium product such as an ETB, right? We're not talking about single sleeve blisters. No, we're talking about an elite trainer box that typically have a very high pack premium. You see something like the 151 ETB, right? How high of a pack premium that holds. This Evolving Skies ETB does not hold that same price premium. If you look at the booster box, that holds a much higher price premium, right? So $2,000 booster box divided by 36 packs, that's about a $55 price per pack. This only has $40 price per pack right now. And if you do the math, right, if you take the $55 price per pack from the booster box and put that into the ETB, so 55 times 8, that's a $444 ETB. So that's what the market value of the ETB should be if the price per packs were the same, but it's currently not. And Evolving Skies ETBs, I think they're one of the best designed ETBs in all of Sword and Shield, right? They have all of the evolutions. It's very rare we have an ETB with multiple Pokemon on them, and both variations have 4 very desirable evolutions. So it's a really good looking ETB. It's iconic. It looks great on display. I just don't see why it doesn't have a price premium for the packs. So $300 is a great price. This can very easily go into the $400 to $500 range by the end of the year. Honestly, I think in the next 6 months, people are going to start picking up a lot more of these ETBs, seeing at how it's so undervalued still. And this will probably be $450 to $500 before the end of the year. That's just my personal hot take. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.